What's good people? Derek Jackson here. So I was just looking at the comments of one of my more recent posts, and it was a conversation. The post was a conversation between a husband and a wife, and they were just dialoguing about some really sensitive things in their marriage and whatnot. And, I was trying to give some pointers, especially to the brothers out there that were listening or maybe had seen the conversation and what they could have done differently, especially whenever the wife started kind of relaying her feelings and expressing her feelings about things that she was dealing with. I just felt like the guy was not properly listening, but I saw somebody say something. I want to address it. They said, you know what? Yeah, you're right, D. He should have listened to understand, not just listen to respond. And I probably have said this too, but let's just unpack that a little bit more because it's even deeper than that, especially when you're talking about a long-term relationship or even a marriage. There are going to be times where listening to understand is just impossible. It's just not happening. And there are going to be times where you do need to listen to respond. Like, that's not a bad thing. Sometimes that's what the communication requires. Hear me out. Anybody, especially men out there, if you've been in a long-term relationship, a year, 2 years or longer, or a marriage, you know what it feels like to be sitting there in front of your woman and she's talking and really just come to the conclusion that you have no idea what she's talking about. Whether it's the verbiage that she's using, her emotions may be high, so she's all over the place, or you just tired. You just finished a 13, 14-hour shift, so your brain is fried. Your mind is everywhere. You done missed the last 10 minutes of what she was talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Any man out there knows what I'm talking about. At that point, I feel like this is what makes all the difference in whether or not this is healthy communication. Because at this point, I think you do need to shift to listening to respond, but it's about the intention that you have behind what way that you respond and what's communicated by how you decide to respond. Because if you don't have an intention behind it, your emotions are probably going to cause you to respond in a way that belittles her, condescends her, or communicates that her feelings are invalid or they don't matter. They trivialize her, or you start using sarcasm because that's your defense mechanism. Or whatever the case may be. I tell every man that I talk to, like, man, at this point, you need to make sure that the way that you respond communicates that you still love her, that you support her, even if you don't understand where she's coming from. You don't agree, you don't understand, whatever. That you respect her. It ain't even about what she's saying at this point. Her. You're still her teammate. You're going to collaborate with her. You're going to work with her to get through whatever it is that's in front of y'all. Like, it's not a game to you. You're still invested, but maybe you can't have that full conversation right then and there. Like, at that point, it's time for you to try to seal that conversation with love and then come to an agreement with your wife or your woman to open it back up whenever you two both have more energy, or you had a chance to marinate on what she said at the beginning, even if you still don't understand, or to come back with a third party, etc. Put it like this. Treat the conversation. If you're going to have true communication in a hard relationship or on a hard topic, treat it like a big cabinet of fine china. Like, that you try to pick up, or you have to pick up, you have to move from one room to the next room. Maybe you try to pick it up right then and you can't pick it up, it's too heavy or something like that. But what you do from that point still matters. Like, you can't just say, oh, because I can't pick this up, it don't matter. No, you have to still set it down gently. Why? Because what's inside of that cabinet is still precious. It's still fragile. The china would be like your woman's feelings and all of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then from there you say, you know what, wifey? Maybe we couldn't pick this up by ourselves, but what about our neighbors who have been married 10, 20 years? We can trust them with this conversation or choose what details to share with them so they can help us communicate. What about waiting until we're both sober? Literally and figuratively from your emotions, because right now we both got a lot of emotion. Maybe we can just come back whenever we both have a good night's rest, and we can come back to this in the morning because it is important, and I want to make sure we do right by this conversation, or get a counselor or get an elder involved, something. But I don't feel like every conversation needs to be where the man or even the woman understands where the other person is coming from. And if it's a very serious topic, that's not going to happen in one conversation anyway. But it's how you connect to the next conversation, that makes all the difference. Now, this is just one of the healthy communication habits that I lay out. And I talk a lot more about this in my book, Don't Forget Your Crown. So if you guys haven't gotten that, just go ahead and click the link down in the caption. I'll put it for 50% off still, even though the sale had ended. I'll put the sale back on for 50% off if you haven't gotten it yet. But ultimately, what I want guys to look at is these conversations with their woman, not as an opportunity to debate and to win and to walk out as the macho man. Like, every conversation, every hard conversation, every argument, especially one that your woman initiates, that's your opportunity to show her where you stand with her. Forget the topic at hand. That's your opportunity to communicate that you, again, are her number one supporter, her number one comforter, her number one protector, all of those things. So you don't want to try to walk away from that conversation or that debate or that argument with some blue ribbon as the debate champ. You want to walk away making her feel more comfortable and more assured with the hands that she placed her heart in. That's going to get you closer to whatever goal that you have in your relationship, I promise you. But y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Again, don't forget your Crown book. I will put that in the caption for 50% off or at the link in the bio, wherever you're watching this. I'll let y'all later. Y'all be good. Peace.